Okay, so today we're going to be talking about social stealth in Assassin's Creed Origins. Many of you may not know, but social stealth such as blending and interacting with crowds isn't in Assassin's Creed Origins. All of the stealth in the game is going to be based purely on environmental stealth, such as walking in tall grass, hiding behind walls, you know, that sort of thing. And I think this is a huge problem. Not to say that the game necessarily needs social stealth, it looks like a great game, however, I don't understand why they took it out. So today, we're going to be discussing the reasons why they could have possibly taken it out, and why it doesn't make sense that they took social stealth out for Assassin's Creed Origins. Also, before I start the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support recently. I've been gaining like 100 subs a day, getting loads of views, I've made way more revenue than I usually get, and that's all thanks to the people that have been watching my videos. Even if I haven't been uploading daily, I tend to upload every other day because it's incredibly difficult to come up with video ideas and upload every day and have it as high quality content, so I tend to upload every other day. But I want to thank the people that have been subscribing so much recently. I've been gaining so many subscribers and we're almost on 20,000. I'll probably hit 20,000 tomorrow, which is absolutely insane to say. So thank you guys so much for the support, and without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. First of all, I just want to say there's no logical reason that they removed social stealth from the game. I cannot think of anything that would make them remove it, because it's not even like it was a bad feature. It was a good feature that made Assassin's Creed stand out from the crowd. Fair enough, you have environmental stealth and all that good stuff, but Assassin's Creed had social stealth, which was completely new take on the stealth system in most video games. You know, most games had hiding behind cover, crouching, slashing people's necks from behind, and Assassin's Creed has that all, but it had social stealth, which was a unique stealth system in which you could blend in with the crowd and walk up to your target and take them out, which was incredibly cool, and I cannot think of why they would remove it. Fair enough, I've always said in the past about Assassin's Creed Origins, I've always said that nothing's sacred. That's the direction they went with, and I think that's definitely good. But I only mean this about features that are bad. And obviously it's subjective whether these features were bad. I could think they're bad, whereas someone else may think the old formula was good. But in terms of the old formula of Assassin's Creed and the things that it was comprised of, I feel like they were outdated features. I don't feel the same about social stealth whatsoever. I get they were going with nothing's sacred, the old formula doesn't work anymore, we need to reinvent it. And that's perfectly fine, they seem to have done a great job in most areas. But social stealth, I believe, still has a place in Assassin's Creed stealth system, and there are no legitimate reasons why it couldn't have been added into Assassin's Creed Origins. Like, I cannot think of any whatsoever. It was a perfectly functioning stealth system. Fair enough, it wasn't used an awful lot in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but in the other games it was very useful, and why it was taken out, I really have no idea, because there was no reason to. All social stealth does is add another layer to the stealth system in Assassin's Creed, a layer that most games don't have. Like, look at Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's all environmental stealth. Look at Horizon Zero Dawn, all environmental stealth. Games like that have a stealth system, none of them have social stealth. That's something that Assassin's Creed always had over its competitors. Social stealth was always a way of advancing Assassin's Creed's stealth over that of its competitors. Instead of just relying on hiding behind walls and stabbing people, it was walking in crowds and not having guards see you, which was an incredibly cool concept to me at the time, and it still is. It's a staple of Assassin's Creed, and was actually a really useful feature of the stealth system in the game, because not only did it double up as a way of not having guards see you in crowds, but it also made it so there was an extra hiding spot opposed to bales of hay, rooftop gardens, benches, that sort of thing. There were also crowds that you could just run into and the guards would look around for you frantically and they would not know where you went, which was a really awesome feature. It made you feel like you were a blade in the crowd opposed to just being a guy that kills people. Something else that I really loved about social stealth was during the black box missions or the assassination encounters. When there were huge crowds like in Assassin's Creed Unity, it was insane. It added to the tension, because if you did one thing wrong, then the whole crowd would run away and disperse. So in a sense, it was a dynamic hiding spot. And if you were to make one mistake while hiding in the crowd, then everyone would run away. But if you were to stay patient and walk slowly and be a blade in the crowd, then you could use it to your advantage. And there were many times that the crowds helped me out. Social stealth also made for some really great assassinations. Like, you could have someone standing on a stage talking to a huge crowd of people and you just be walking through and they were your target. It was really cool, and it was a way to build up the tension. You felt like this one guy in a sea of people that followed this tyrannical leader of some sort. And I always imagined in Assassin's Creed Origins, before it was announced to the public, I always imagined that there would be some form of assassination where it was a guy standing and talking to a crowd and you would have to go and assassinate him. But we can't have that in Assassin's Creed Origins now, because there's no social stealth, so there's no blending with crowds. I mean, fair enough, you may have a guy talking to a crowd and you have to climb round and assassinate him, but I don't think it has the same effect. It doesn't have that much tension. Whereas feeling like someone who's completely alone and has to take on this monumental task of assassinating this leader, it feels a lot more tense, like you have a huge weight on your shoulders. Whereas anyone can do an air assassination, anyone can climb round a scaffolding or round a building and then jump off and air assassinate this guy. I think it's a lot more difficult to use the crowd to your advantage and then take out this person without being seen, especially considering they're on a crowd. They probably have guards around them. It's a lot more of a challenge, which also makes it more fun because you have to overcome this really difficult situation. Whereas if there's a ledge right behind him, you can just climb up there, take out the archers, and then assassinate him from the air. It's not as difficult. It's really easy, actually. So social stealth actually added a sense of tension to the assassinations that I think Assassin's Creed Origins may be lacking, although I might be completely wrong there. They might be tense as fuck, and if that's the case, then that's perfectly fine. Although I'm sure there will definitely be some memorable assassination targets in Assassin's Creed Origins, regardless of the lack of social stealth. Also, the Assassin's Creed lore implications of removing social stealth doesn't make an awful lot of sense. One of the tenets of the creed is hide in plain sight. Why would Bayek enforce to hide in plain sight if he doesn't do that himself? You know, what's the point in hiding in plain sight, being a blade in the crowd, if you can't do that in Assassin's Creed Origins? Maybe Bayek didn't come up with the tenets, maybe someone made them later, although I find that highly unlikely. Bayek most likely creates the tenets of the creed, and hiding in plain sight is one of them. I don't know, if we can't use social stealth in the game, why would that be one of the tenets of the creed, considering Bayek creates the Brotherhood? And I don't think it will be a skill that we unlock towards the end of the game, considering 1, we've seen the whole skill tree, and 2, restricting you for the whole game from using social stealth and then giving it to you at the end doesn't make an awful lot of sense, considering it would be one of the core aspects of the gameplay. Adding in a core aspect after people have completed the game is a very silly thing, considering the majority of people that play Assassin's Creed Origins will only play the main story and then they'll go on to another game. So giving you that ability after completing the game doesn't make any sense. Now here comes the part in the video where I talk about how we can implement it into future games. Now I know nothing about games design, and I'm sure it's pretty annoying when developers hear people talking about what they should put in the game or how they can implement things in the future when they have no idea how to implement it themselves. But many people do like hearing my opinions on these things, so I'm going to be talking about how we can implement it into future Assassin's Creed games after Assassin's Creed Origins. So if the possible reason for them not implementing social stealth into Assassin's Creed Origins is that it could be exploited to possibly easily hide from high level enemies without having to find a bale of hay or anything like that, and then exploiting that and using a stealth kill on them and just doing that over and over again until you take out higher level enemies, then have it so guards check through crowds a whole lot more often. Kind of like when guards are pursuing you in the other Assassin's Creed games. When you're being pursued by the guards, they'll check nearby crowds and they'll disband it, so then they have to walk away and you get seen. Have that happen, but have it a lot more often. Say if patrolling guards are interested in the crowd that you're standing in because they're pursuing you, then they'll disband this crowd and then obviously you'll be caught by the guards. I don't know if the problem is related to it being game-breakingly powerful against the AI in the game. I don't know why they'd remove social stealth, but if it is because it would be too powerful against higher level enemies and that it affects all enemies the same, then I think it'd be a good idea to make it so social stealth is more of a quick way to hide. So if you run around a corner and the guards lose where you are, you can quickly jump in a crowd. However, the guards still have a high chance of finding you. Maybe they can still see you to a certain degree in the crowd if they come close enough, but only if they were initially pursuing you and then you quickly jumped in a crowd. Obviously, if you were in a crowd anyway and no one was chasing you, then the guards wouldn't care about that. So crowds and social stealth will be more used as a quick way to hide, because crowds of people are all over the place in cities where you don't have to look for them, whereas you have to look for bales of hay, you have to look for rooftop gardens, you have to look for benches, and you have to look for stalking zones. So those have a guaranteed way of getting away from guards, whereas crowds are more of a quick way to hop into one of them, and there's a chance that the guards won't be able to find you. However, it's more likely than other hiding zones that you will be found in a crowd. And maybe you could have it so higher level enemies were more perceptive, so the higher level the enemy, the more likely they are to find you in the crowd, and as you level up, you'll obviously level up your stealth skills, and this will even out the odds, and you'll be less likely to be found in crowds, although it's still more likely to be found when you're hiding in a crowd than when you're in a hay bale or some other hiding spot. This way it will be a balanced hiding system, because not only can guards find you, higher level enemies will be able to find you much easier, but it will also mean that we can have those assassinations situations where you're in the crowd with a lot of people and there's someone standing on a stage talking to everyone, because obviously the guards weren't chasing you, so you being in that crowd doesn't aggro them, or it doesn't cause them to search the crowd for you because they don't know you're there and they don't know what you're planning on doing. I don't want to judge the game too heavily before it comes out, but those are my opinions on social stealth in Assassin's Creed Origins. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just wanted to give my opinions on social stealth, considering it's a huge part of Assassin's Creed and it's not a feature that's in Assassin's Creed Origins. I do disagree with this, however I feel like it could be implemented pretty well into future games. I hope you guys agree with my opinions and respectfully disagree if you do disagree. However, you guys can voice those opinions in the comment section below, which would help me out a fuck ton. Also, be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more gaming news, content and reviews in the future. I'll be doing a review of Middle-earth Shadow of War at some point once I finish the game, and that'll be out very soon, hopefully, if I can make the video, finish the game, record all the footage and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for all the support recently. I just want to say that again. My goal was to hit 20,000 subscribers before Assassin's Creed Origins came out, and I can't believe I managed to do it. My goal is 25k by the end of the year. I said so in January, so hopefully we'll be able to hit that. If we can't, then I'm just happy I hit my goal of 20k before AC Origins. Cheers for your support. It's been so fucking helpful. It's been absolutely amazing recently, and I hope you guys continue to watch my videos prior to the release of Assassin's Creed Origins, and the hype will fucking build up, and I'll have loads of videos out when the game comes out, and other open world games too. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.